All right, update on Grandma's marathon training. So, recap of the week that was ending in April 21st. So, I had I had come into last week's training block with some frustration. So, I had been scheduled to do a 10-mile tempo run, so more or less marathon pace. Actually, more marathon pace. And it had not gone well at all. Multiple times of stopping, trying to recollect myself, and pretty much just suffered through the entire run and was not a good confidence builder. Then, Monday was a recovery run. Tuesday was another, what I would call quality training run. So, another, I think it was mile repeats that again went off the rails. And, same thing as the Sunday run, just lots of stopping, feeling completely gassed. And that was super frustrating. But my following quality training run was the 400s, and I absolutely crushed it. Needed a win, got a win. So it was maybe upper 40s, 47, 49 degrees when I left for that run. Overcast, very light drizzle, like almost misting. Not consistently. Winds were about the best they ever are in Wisconsin in the springtime. So, you know, I think by the time I finished the run, they were probably gusting up to 15 to 20 miles an hour, but for most of the run, they weren't. And I crushed it. So I didn't take any additional rest. I didn't stop in any of the 400s. I did it exactly as it was written and intended. And I think my slowest one was maybe a 118, which for the purposes of reminder here, the goal for that is for me to be 122 to 126. So 122 if I'm aiming for a 258, 126 if I'm aiming for a 307. And literally the slowest one I had was well faster than that. I mean, 4 seconds probably doesn't sound like a whole lot, but again, that was the slowest one. And in a 400, I mean, it's not a small amount of time, I don't think. So I was incredibly happy with that. Yeah, as I'm looking through the splits here, I think 118.4 was my slowest one. And several of them were like 114, 115, absolutely smashing where I'm supposed to be. So that was a huge win when I needed a huge win. So I was very happy with that. Went into the weekend, all I had left after that was a recovery run on Friday. And so if I were to say what went right for the 400s that had been going wrong on the previous two quality workouts, I think I had watched some videos on what elite runners do. And one common theme I was noticing is that when they have a recovery run, they they mean it. Like they run really slow on those days. And I had been kind of watching my paces on those runs to try to keep them within the range of where, I should be for the different marathon goal times that I have. And I didn't do that last week. Okay, so after I had two poor runs in a row, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm just not recovered from the quality sessions I've been doing. I'm going to, rather than look at my pace during recovery days, I'm going to look at my heart rate and just keep it like really easy. So, like, when I think about it, I can breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth, and I'm not working to do that. So, that's what I focused on for my recovery runs. Now, is that what made the difference, or did I just come into the 400-meter set really determined to have a good run? I don't know. It's probably a bit of both, if I had to guess. But that was a good one. And then finishing out the week, I had a scheduled 16-mile run. Did that. Let's see. Let me get over to it. Yeah, 16-mile run, 2:10, averaged an 8:07 pace. Picked it up towards the end, so my average heart rate for the whole run was 144. It's about where I want to be. Last couple miles, I was under 8-minute miles. That's fine. I still worry sometimes that for me mentally, it would be good to have more races at race pace, or more longer training runs at race pace, but it's such a double-edged sword. You're taking a risk there of injury, and then your recovery needs go up. And, when you're a parent with multiple children and a full-time job, and you got kids and activities and stuff, when do you really recover? If you're lucky to be able to get 8 hours of sleep at night. So, I'm definitely not going to err on the side of too much marathon pace training, and I'm going to err on the side of getting to the starting line healthy, if at all possible. I've already got some nagging aches and pains, and I just don't want to push it too hard. So I ended with over 50 miles last week, and now coming into this week, again, it's April feels like such a long month in Wisconsin. Again, this week, there's going to be plenty of quality training runs on a treadmill because it's Wisconsin, and, it doesn't seem like there's too many days that go by where you're not dealing with 35-mile-an-hour gusting winds. So that's the case this afternoon, so I'm probably going to try to get my recovery run in here pretty soon. Tomorrow's speed work, I haven't even looked at what that's supposed to be yet, but tomorrow's speed work is going to end up on a treadmill, of course, because, welcome to Wisconsin. That's going to be the 5-minute intervals, which is just a painful set. But it's supposed to be, as always. So that'll almost certainly be on the treadmill because it's supposed to be super windy. I think it's going to be hard enough just running those paces without the 35-mile-an-hour gusting headwinds to contend with. So we probably just won't do that outside. And then I think it's the mile repeats as the other quality session this week. Yeah, tempo miles. Not super looking forward to that. Although, hey, after crushing the 400 meters, I know the top end speed is there. So I think I've just got to, again, focus on recovery today, come into the quality sets ready to go, and then really try to nail down those paces and get to the point where, it's not supposed to be easy, but I can manage it. And I am encouraged after the 400. That was definitely a big win to get. Now I need to start stacking a few. So that's where we're at. I'm feeling relatively good, and we'll see how this week goes. Later.